So many things come to mind when I say that word. I think about what I ate for breakfast and what I might want for dinner. I think about this complicated recipe for my absolute favorite cookies and how I've somehow convinced my mom to make them for me multiple times a year. I think about the nutrition food provides and how it fuels my body to do the things I want it to do. I think about my 1-year-old son discovering his love-hate relationship with starting solid foods. I think about community and friendships and sitting around the table with my family, laughing, talking, and of course eating. I think about inequalities, overabundance, scarcity, and how your relationship to food and your access to it can vary so much just based on your circumstance. Food, a simple word, but a complex meaning. Now I want to ask a question. What is the difference between these two carrots? Sure, there's that obvious appearance factor, but can we find anything else that sets these two carrots apart? The same soil, water, and sunlight was used to grow and nourish them. The same farmer spent countless hours worrying over their yield and eventually cultivating their crop. Diving even deeper, these carrots are identical in nutritional content, yet we place a higher value on one and at times completely disregard the other. And why do we do this? When wasting these carrots, or any produce that looks like this carrot, is not only food wasted, but it's money, time, and water wasted. According to the NRDC, 40% of the food grown in the United States is never eaten. And while there are many factors that play into this, I'm here to talk about one: ugly vegetables, and their role in shaping the way our food systems work and the way we see food. We're taught that food should be pretty and perfect. When you go to the grocery store, you might sort through countless apples or tomatoes just to find that perfect one that's not too ripe and has 0 bruises. But this leaves so much produce cast aside just because we didn't deem it perfect enough. And most of the ugly vegetables aren't even making it to the store to begin with. Well, why is that? Since supermarkets compete with one another, they try to purchase the most visually appealing crops to signal what appears to be a higher value of harvest. Then we as consumers, never getting to see the funky-looking vegetables, become accustomed to them looking a certain way. Therefore, we become less and less inclined to purchase outside of our comfort zones, and we reinforce these buying practices. We live in a world today where even our produce has hard-to-achieve beauty standards. And you have to keep in mind that our farmers have no control over how their produce is choosing to take shape or what their yield may look like from one year to the next. And so all of these crops that they can't traditionally sell are left. That's a lot of revenue our farmers lose out on, and in turn, our economy loses out on as well. Putting some numbers to it, it is estimated that in the United States, every year, 92 billion pounds of food is thrown away. That equates to 145 billion meals and $473 billion worth of food thrown away annually. Now you may be thinking, that sounds overwhelming. What do we do about it? Where do we even begin? My advice is to start small. The next time you go to the grocery store, think about how and when you're going to use your produce. Can something be a tad on the riper side? Is that bruise easy enough to work around? Challenge your kids to find the funkiest looking carrot that they can. Make it fun and make it exciting. Whenever possible, support a local farmer. Buy that weird looking radish and value it just as you would the normal one. Finally, enter what I like to call the ugly vegetable certified state of mind. Wear it like a badge of honor. Share your funky farmers market haul. Support companies that align with these values. Be a part of the conversation and the movement to remove these unnecessary beauty standards on our produce. Because ugly food can nourish our bodies just as well as the perfect ones can. They can create meals for our friends that turn into memories. They can feed communities. They deserve to be celebrated. Thank you.